Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Acton, and welcome to Charlottesville, Virginia. As you can see, Charlottesville is a beautiful place. But today I am missing one of my favorite places on the planet, which is Santa Fe, New Mexico. The meeting should have been in Santa Fe, and as a result, I miss the chili, the red, the green, mostly the red. I miss chimeneas, pinon, ristra, but mostly I miss my friends from SSIAI. You know who you are, and next time we'll get together in the flesh. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my new job at the National Science Foundation and what's going on there in terms of image analysis. So let me see if I can share a screen with you. Great. So today, I'm going to first start out with a little history, my own personal history. So I was born in LA. Then we moved to New York, lived there a bit. That didn't really work out for us. So I ended up spending most of my youth in Northern Virginia, where I went to Acton High School before going to Virginia Tech with our favorite friend, Joe Bob. After Tech, I got into a red Camaro and drove out to Austin, Texas, where I worked in the lab with Al Bovig. During my PhD, I was supported by Motorola. Thank you, Motorola. And I had my first faculty job at Oklahoma State University. Well, this time in a red pickup, I drove back east to my home state of Virginia and started working at the University of Virginia, where I've been for almost 2 decades and where I live in rather close quarters now due to the COVID-19 with Sabrina, Colby, and Henry. So let me tell you a little bit about our research before I move on to a more general discussion of life at NSF. So we've been working on image analysis for neuroscience. And one thing that we've been trying to do is to quantitatively compare 2 neurons in morphology. We've come up with a way of doing that elastically with a shape manifold in which we can morph one neuron into the other and compute the distance from one neuron to another. In the process, we can do things like show degeneration, which you're seeing here, a result that we have just published in Neuroinformatics 2020. In the last couple of years, image analysis has actually made an impact on science, and we're proud of that. We, with the Kipnis lab leading, were able to help establish a link between the lymphatic system in the brain, which was unknown, and Alzheimer's for the first time. This achievement was noted as one of 5 notable advances by Nature Medicine and was also tagged as groundbreaking research in Forbes, as well as appearing on the cover of Nature. Okay, so I'm done bragging about my lab, Virginia Image and Video Analysis Laboratory here in Charlottesville, and I want to talk about you and the NSF and image analysis. So I'm in a cluster called CIF, Communications and Information Foundations, where we have 2 other program directors, Phil Regalia and Armand Mikowski. We have various core responsibilities, and we also have some cross-cutting activities that I'm going to tell you about in the next 10 minutes or so. Oh, by the way, you're always welcome with NSF questions to contact me by sacton@nsf.gov. If you just want to find out how Colby's track team is doing, contact me at sacton@gmail.com. So CIF, even though we're a small little outfit, We fund almost every state in the nation. For some reason, we can't break through in Wyoming and South Dakota. We make about a fifth of our awards to women, which is certainly an underrepresented group in signal processing. And we make about 7% of our awards to EPSCoR states, which are many of the states that attend SSIAI. The themes vary in CIF, but I made this word diagram, and you can see that learning is becoming a dominant theme. Essentially, CIF deals with the theoretical underpinnings of the science more than it does the application of the science. This is a year or two old, but essentially you could think of us as a quarter signal and image processing, like SSIAI, a quarter of machine learning and optimization. And I would hazard to guess that most of us are dabbling in that right now, if not fully invested in machine learning. And traditionally, we've supported information theory, coding, and communications. We have many success stories, some of which would have been in the Santa Fe room during this talk, and one of which I'm highlighting here, which is faster MRI scans. And this was enabled by using compressed sensing that most of us know about, and some of the early compressed sensing work was funded by CIF in the NSF. We're also proud to say that the way your data is stored on the cloud, perhaps this video, has been influenced by NSF funded research, including repair codes used by Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. No talk about CIF would be complete without mentioning this gentleman, Claude Shannon. And in fact, we funded a movie about Claude Shannon that won an award. It's called The Bit Player. So watch it. It's fun. Outside of my core, I work in what's called the Smart and Connected Health Program. I'm very excited about this program. I wish some of our attendees would get involved in this program. Let me tell you about it. It's a joint effort with NIH. We have joint panels. From the NIH perspective, you might call them joint study sections. They're $1.2 million grants. They're nice sized grants. And they emphasize first the science and then the medical application. You've got to have a cross-disciplinary team. You've got to team up maybe with a physician or a nurse or some other practitioner in medicine. And it's use-inspired basic research. You can contact me, you can contact Wendy Nilsson about this program, but essentially we're looking for Pasteur. We're not looking for Bohr, for pure understanding, or for jobs, pure application and money. And we're certainly not looking for Bozo, but we're looking for something that's a combination between an advance in basic understanding and also something that's practical to medicine. A special thing that's going on right now, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, is rapid funding in COVID-19 research. Now, this research is going to be small budgets that last only 1 or 2 years, but can have an impact on the field within 6 to 9 months. We usually can't even complete the review process in 6 months, let alone get something going. But in this case, we want to impact the problem and problems that are related to COVID-19 pandemic. So if you think you have something, maybe in the image analysis area, contact me immediately by sending me a one-pager description by email, and I'll tell you if you're in scope. And I'll also be able to send it off to someone else if it's not my area. But this is an important topic and timely topic. I'm also involved with the National Robotics Initiative. So if you have computer vision, image analysis work that you want to see linking up with robotics, please contact me or contact David Miller, who is leading up the National Robotics Initiative 2.0. The topics change from year to year, so you'll have to look at the solicitation. If you are alive in the United States of America right now, you know about the National Artificial Intelligence research institutes. These are rather large centers that are up to $20 million for 5 years, or you can opt for a planning grant, which is $500,000 for 1 to 2 years. And the proposals for this year are already in the system and being reviewed. You might be thinking about next year leading or collaborating in your own AI research institute. Of the topics listed, one that's of particular interest to me is foundations of machine learning. I believe that machine learning is really doing some wonderful things in the world, but we need some foundations. We need some underpinnings, such as what we've learned in our education on signal processing. So you also might want to go to engineering. I'm in SSIAI, the computer science wing of NSF. But if you go to engineering, you might want to look at programs in ECCS, particularly in communication circuits and sensing systems. They cover a variety of topics related to SSIAI, and one person you might want to contact is Jen-Shan Lin. So I'm in the education session right now, and certainly NSF Education is funding a number of initiatives, including that of Dr. Patikas in the education technology realm. So you might want to consider programs in education. In fact, Professor Havlicek had former funding in Division of Undergraduate Education using content-based image retrieval, for example. Biology is an area that certainly needs imaging and image analysis and interpretation. We have one of our own in terms of an image processor in that program, and that's Jean Gao, and you might know her from Texas. So certainly geoscience is an area where remote sensing plays a part. That might be relevant to you. You also might be interested in CRCNS, which is another joint program with NIH, which is looking at essentially reverse engineering the brain, among other lofty topics. Cyber-physical systems is a traditional topic that has attracted image processing, image analysis, and computer vision people. Phil Regalia in my cluster is the contact point if you're interested in CPS from an image signal processing point of view. So I am very excited about what's going on in my research program at NSF. I'd love to get you involved. I believe that image analysis and image interpretation may be keys in reverse engineering the brain. I know that communications and information theory enabled us to have these phones that we look at constantly, like the iPhone. And image analysis, the work that's being done at this very symposium, is key to the driverless car. It's key to the future of V2V or V2X. And let us not forget, and let us forget that signal processing put the C in CNN. And so we are the theoretical underpinning of machine learning. Finally, we're looking at the Internet of Things and data science, and I truly believe that digital signal processing, which lies at the core of this symposium, is the key to understanding and building good data science. So at this point, I'd love to stop and take questions and try to answer your questions about the NSF and your questions about what's going on in the National Science Foundation in terms of image analysis and interpretation. Thank you very much. From Charlottesville, Virginia, I'm Scott Acton.